welcome to episode 606 of Good Luck High Five.
That's right. You're listening to a podcast that's for you if you play Magic the Gathering. Whether you enjoy having the absolute nightmares scared out of you or not, we're here for you.
I'm one of your hosts, Maria.
I'm another one of your hosts, Megan.
And get ready to get spooked because Duskmourn House of Horror is upon us.
Ooh, Maria, how scared are you?
I am so scared. What is the thing that scares you the most? Quick question. I mean, real talk,
Just the big one.
I feel like that's, I feel like it's still second to public speaking, though, in greatest fears,
What? You think more people fear public speaking than fear death?
Yes, I think that has been studied. You can look it up.
Okay, I'm looking it up.
If it's not that, it's the reversed. It's like death at number one, public speaking number two. You know what I mean? But it's something like that. I believe more people are afraid of talking in public, which is absurd to me. Take an improv class, but,
okay.
to each their own.
I don't know if they're counting just number one. I don't know if they're counting dying.
Well, see, number
Top
one.
10 things people fear most. 1, public speaking.
Yeah.
Don't fear it. How do you feel?
No, I don't care.
We don't fear it. 2, heights. A little bit.
Not that bad.
I have a little bit of a fear of heights. 3, going to the dentist.
I don't like it. I don't know if I fear it.
I don't fear it. I can say that for certain.
Yeah.
Snakes.
I'm fine about snakes.
Also fine.
Yep.
Flying.
Not scared.
Not scared. Spiders and insects.
I do not like spiders. That would be an accurate fear for me.
Yes. Enclosed spaces.
Not scared of those. Not claustrophobic.
All right.
We're doing pretty good.
You know what? Okay, I will say here's the one that I fear.
Okay.
That does not make most people's lists.
Okay.
Dams.
Oh yeah, you have a fear of dams.
I have a fear of dams. I have a phobia of dams. I don't like them.
And I have a fear of video game glitch screens. We've talked about this before.
Yeah, we have talked about this before.
Our weird, irrational fears.
Yes. Not beaver-made dams.
Yeah.
Seen a couple of those. Feel fine about them. Honestly, those guys can keep on trucking along.
What if you were beaver-sized? Do you think that would change how you feel about it?
I don't know. If I was beaver-sized, how beaver-adjacent am I?
You're a beaver.
Oh, then I would say no. I hope not.
Okay.
I really hope not.
You're a small muskrat.
Ooh, I feel like also, no, I can't be a water creature. If I was like a mouse looking at a beaver dam, then I'd be like, that's scary.
Okay, that's a fair thing there. Do you have an irrational fear? Let us know what it is in our Discord. Use the hashtag fear me, and I just want to know because there's some interesting ones out there, and Duskmourn actually plays on a lot of them with cards that have been crafted specifically to recount people's fears, which I think is kind of cool. And I'm going to tell a story about one of them later in the show because Duskmourn got my number somehow. Not sure how. It's unlisted, but it did, and they printed a card of one of my fears. So we're going to talk all about Duskmourn. They just had a big release video at PAX West where they went over all the new mechanics we're going to see in the set, the different card treatments, and lots of cool things that are going to happen in Duskmourn. We're also going to have an update for you on the Duskmourn story. We started Chapter 1 last week, which was very cool, and I'm super interested to find out what happens to our adventurers who are locked in the House of Horrors that is Duskmourn.
Gasp. What
could be going on with them?
I'm going to tell you.
Ooh, great.
How about that?
Excellent. Yeah, I accept that for sure.
Good.
So I'm super excited for the set. Pre-releases coming up faster than you can say spooky. Next
I don't know.
month.
I can say spooky pretty fast.
And it's happening on the 21st if you're going on to Saturday, the pre-release, which is at the Equinox. Let's find out. Equinox 2024 for fall. I should have. Oh, now it's just showing me pictures of cars.
This is reminiscent of anti-lock braking systems.
Yeah, when you Googled abs by accident.
Well, I wasn't Googling abs. I was Googling ABS.
Yeah, makes sense. No, okay. The Equinox is the 22nd at 7:43 a.m. So almost the 21st. Earth, Wind, and Fire almost had it, but off by one day. If you go to your pre-release on Sunday, it will be the Equinox, and you can balance a card perfectly on its end if you stand it up.
Go and try it.
Go try it.
That's a good luck high five guarantee that's going to work out for you.
It's going to work 100% normal.
Yes.
Before we get into the show, everyone, thank you as always for hanging out with us. We love talking to you, and we love everybody who supports us on patreon.com/GLHF Magic.
Yes. Thank you so much to everyone who is a patron, has been a patron, or will become a patron in the future. And this week, thank you especially to new patrons, Leon and Amari.
Yay, Leon and Amari.
Thank you, Leon and Amari. Leon specifically asked for a pun for their kid, Ira.
Ira, all right.
I really appreciate you becoming a patron.
Wow, that's great. I really appreciate you too, Ira. Thanks for listening. And who else do we have? Amari. Oh, okay. All I can think of, I'm a cocktail fan, so all I'm thinking of is Amaro, which is something you can put in a fancy cocktail. Amari, I might get down on one knee and ask you to Amari me.
I knew it. I had this set. I was like, here we go.
That's how much we appreciate you for becoming a patron. You too can get a great pun based on your name if you become a new patron at $5 a month or more, or increase your pledge. You get lots of great benefits like early access to episode releases, both of our show and Commander Arcade, which is also our show, but it's another one of our shows.
You are also helping make that happen when you contribute.
100%. We've got some new episodes coming out in September. 2 episodes slated for release. We're very excited about them.
They're very exciting.
One's coming out here at the end of the week. So if you're listening to this on Thursday, it's going to be out for you if you're a patron already on patreon.com/GLHF Magic. And if you're not, it's coming out on Friday. And it is an excellent episode. We play with Gavin Verhey from Wizards of the Coast. We play some Boxing League.
Yes.
And Gavin uses Mystery Booster too.
Yeah, and I use Commander Legends Battle for Baldur's Gate.
Yeah.
Which let me tell you was a real wild experience to build with.
It was. Our decks are more powerful than our last Boxing League, that's for sure.
Oh my goodness, for sure. And there are some really cool cards in Gavin's deck.
Yes, oh my gosh. You have to watch it, everyone, because the end of the game is truly phenomenal.
Ooh, it's great.
So check it out at youtube.com/@GLHF Commander. If you're a patron, you already have access. It's in your feed. You get it a day early. If that could be you, you just have to become a patron. That's all you gotta do. And you support all of the content we make, which literally does make it happen. So we thank you from the bottom of our hearts and also the bottom of our farts.
Speaking of
farts?
No, can't do that. Card Kingdom.
Yes.
Cardkingdom.com/GLHF, the place to go for all of your cards, your singles, your Duskmourn pre-orders.
Yes, they're open for pre-orders right now over on cardkingdom.com/GLHF. Please use that link if you buy anything from them. It lets them know that they should continue supporting us. That's cardkingdom.com/GLHF.
Card Kingdom. Get spooked there.
Absolutely. Shout out to our other sponsor, Dragon Shield.
Dragon Shield. Thank you so much.
The only place you get sleeves.
The only place you should get sleeves.
I'm just saying.
Their sleeves are so good.
Yeah.
I know non-Magic players who use their sleeves for other card games.
Well, absolutely.
Gasp.
They're the best sleeves.
They're the best sleeves.
Did you know you can
They're like, of course we use Dragon Shield.
Well, yeah, of course.
Of course.
You can get your own custom sleeves made at Dragon Shield. You can use their tool called a Sleeve Crafter where you upload your own art and you can get them on Dragon Shields.
Gasp.
They're pretty cool. I saw some of them in action. We both saw some of them in action yesterday.
Yes, we did, and they were great.
They're awesome.
Yes.
So if you're looking for a gift for a Magic player in your life, like seriously, what would be cooler than getting them some custom sleeves with like an inside joke on them or whatever?
Nothing would be cooler.
Or you're like a selfie of the two of you, or I'm just saying.
Get ahead of your Christmas shopping.
Seriously.
Your holiday shopping of any kind. Your birthday shopping. Just do it.
Check them out. The link is in the show notes. Please use that. That's our affiliate link. You can also find it below the video. And use code GLHF at checkout for 5% off. Do you hear that?
No.
It's the sound of Duskmourn's footsteps coming down the hallway.
That's why I didn't hear it.
What?
That's why I didn't hear it, because it's too spooky for me to hear.
Your brain just shuts down. Shuts right on down.
It was like, nope, pass.
Why is Duskmourn wearing high heels in my imagination coming down this hallway?
Okay, what shoes would Duskmourn wear? I think Duskmourn would wear like platform Doc Martens.
Oh, yeah, for sure. This is a love of 80s, 90s horror, and that fits right in there.
That's what I'm just saying, like combat boots.
Absolutely. I was going to say bone shoes, like high heels that look like they're made of bones.
Okay, that works.
That's because I'm thinking of the big bad of the set, Valgavoth.
Yes. He a big demon.
Very, very spooky. Do we want to talk about Valgavoth really quickly? Just because I mentioned Valgavoth.
Yeah, do we want to talk about him?
So this house, Duskmourn, the plane is a house. The house is a plane. The entire plane is the house. You go into the house. You can't escape the house. You think you're in a field. Guess what? You're not actually. You're still in the house.
No, you're in the house. You're always in the house.
You're always in the house.
In story time, I'll tell you about some spooky rooms in the house.
Ooh, I'm excited.
That's mostly what the story was about.
I would like to go to this haunted house. Do you think that's possible for me?
Maria, you would never get out again. That's the point. You're trapped there.
Okay, well.
Do you want to be trapped in-house?
I don't know. I don't think I would mind it as much as some people. I really love being in a haunted house.
But, okay, I'm so sorry.
What?
I just have to pause us here.
Yeah.
Maria, do you think that you love being in a haunted house so much that you would like to live
in a haunted house?
In a cursed house for the rest of your life?
Okay, no, but
there we go.
I when I am in a haunted house, I just want to stop and sit in the corner and just kind of be there and vibe.
Yeah,
that's not allowed. They're like, move along, ma'am.
And all the actors are like, I'm trying to scare you, and you're like, I would just like to appreciate. I just
want to appreciate you and everything that's going on around me.
I would like to enjoy the aesthetics of what you've created here, and they're like, that's not what this is about.
There is a wonderful haunted house that we've gone to here in the area, and there's a church courtyard part of it where. There's an old haunted church and there's a haunted courtyard outside, and I could sit there in that church in that courtyard for forever. It's just so wonderful and atmospheric.
Yeah.
Anyway, Valgavoth.
Anyways, Terror Eater. He's spooky. I don't even know what's going on in this art.
That's his body. He's a giant moth creature. And
he is a giant moth creature.
That's the moth. We were like, why is the set symbol a moth? This is why.
It's because he's the moth.
The moth. And he molts, so he has to go down into the basement and molt every so often.
Oh.
And regrow the form.
Okay.
Where I'm saying him, I don't know what the pronouns of Valgavoth, Terror Eater, are.
That's fair. Spooky
and spookier.
Yeah.
Flying lifelink. It's a 9/9 for 6 black. So
yeah, okay.
Pretty formidable. Flying with lifelink. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Ward. Sacrifice 3 non-land permanents.
Okay.
So if you want to target this thing, you better get ready to make some hard choices. If a card you didn't control would be put into an opponent's graveyard from anywhere, you exile it instead. During your turn, you may play cards exiled with Valgavoth. Oh, nice. If you cast a spell this way, pay life equal to its mana value rather than pay its mana cost.
Wow.
So it's free.
But, I mean, it takes your life.
Sure, but this thing has lifelink.
Yeah, you're right.
Just gain it back.
Wow. Move over, Gristlebrand. Valgavoth is here.
This card is a beast.
It is spooky. Well, it's an elder demon.
An elder demon. Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? This art, the more that I look at this art, the more that it's great because look, it looks like he's a moth, but then also he become house.
The entrance is down between his legs.
It's it's part of his weird moth body. The house is his weird moth body too.
I love this.
Yeah.
The art's great.
Yeah, this is spooky as heck. Nice work, Antonio Jose Manzanero.
Absolutely. Valgavoth is also one of the face cards for the commander decks, which he's a little bit smaller in that, but
Oh, thank goodness. A smaller demon.
Still spooky. So that's the big bad. That's what's haunting the house and all the people in Duskmourn and you, in fact, at the pre-release most likely.
Yes.
Let's talk about what's new and cool with this set. We're just going to go over it briefly because Judge Rob's going to be here before the pre-release, of course, to give you the lowdown on all of these mechanics and tricky cards, but I just want to call out some of the new stuff we're going to see here. The big one is the rooms.
Yes.
The room cards.
So these are enchantments.
Hold on, I got to turn my laptop sideways.
Yes.
All right, here we go.
These are enchantments. They look a little bit like split cards in their formatting. Mm-hmm. And when you cast them, you pick one half or the other to cast.
Yes.
And then the other half is locked.
Oh.
But you can unlock it by paying its mana cost.
Yeah, this is a cool card, Dollmaker's Shop. So you can cast either side, one in a white. Whenever one or more non-toy creatures you control attack a player, you create a 1/1 white toy artifact creature token.
Spooky.
Horrifying.
No, thank you.
Or you can cast Porcelain Gallery, 4 white. Creatures you control have base power and toughness, each equal to the number of creatures you control.
Oh.
So you're probably casting the first half, and then the other side's locked, and at whatever you want at a game, sorcery speed, unlock the other side.
Wow.
Cool.
Very cool.
I'm spooked. Those dolls, don't want to see them. Thanks.
We also know that Manifest Dread is going to happen. Manifesting, we have seen before.
Oh, yes. We've manifested.
Manifest, which is where a card in your library becomes a face-down 2/2 creature. You can turn it face up. If it's a creature, you can turn it face up for its mana by paying its mana cost.
Yep.
And if it's not a creature, you cannot.
It's just a 2/2 forever.
It's just a 2/2 forever that's face down.
Battlefield.
But in the case of Manifesting Dread, you look at the top 2 cards of your library and then put one onto the battlefield face down as a 2/2 creature and the other into your graveyard.
So you get a little bit more choice of what's happening with your manifestation.
Yes.
Here than normal. Next up, we have Survival, which is kind of I think this is a cool thematic mechanic.
Yes.
Where there's a card like Veteran Survivor, which costs single white mana for a 2/1 human survivor and has survival. At the beginning of your second main phase, if Veteran Survivor is tapped, exile up to one target card from a graveyard. As long as there are 3 or more cards exiled with Veteran Survivor, it gets +3/+3 and has hexproof. That's a sweet card.
It's just very cool because it's saying like, did you survive combat?
Did you survive combat? Yes.
Did you survive combat?
I love that.
You have to have engaged in combat and then did you survive it?
Or what if it crewed a vehicle?
Oh.
Or was tapped some other weird way.
Tapped some other weird way.
You survive combat, though, is the flavor win that I was talking about with
Very
this.
good.
I think it's cool.
Very nice.
What do you think of this crab skeleton?
Wow, I hate this. It is very scary to me.
How are you going to pick the grossest card in this set?
It's going to be very hard.
Real tough.
There's something about this one specifically that is like, we're talking about Scrabbling Skull Crab.
Great name.
Very fun to say. It has Eerie, which is whenever an enchantment you control enters and whenever you fully unlock a room. So, and then something happens.
Oh, okay.
You know, that's
So you
it.
need to meet those 2 conditions?
It's not both. It's like if one happens or the other happens,
Oh,
right?
okay.
It's like, oh, if I had an enchantment enter or if I unlock the other side of a room.
Okay.
And it's like, okay, here you go.
In this case, the crab's going to mill you 2 cards.
Yes.
But I assume other things happen.
Yeah.
When? Or is it always milling? You know what I mean?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I would be very surprised.
All right. So it can happen twice, you know, if you do both of these things, which is kind of cool. You can keep milling people with the little skull crab.
I'm going to try and find one.
All right. See if you find another one. I'm going to talk about the other one, the last one, Impending, which is a kind of a new suspend situation here. Let's talk about Overlord of the Hauntwoods. 3 green for a 6/5. It has Impending 4, 1 green. If you cast a spell for its Impending cost, it enters with 4 time counters on it and isn't a creature until the last is removed. At the beginning of your end step, remove a time counter from it. And the card itself says, whenever Overlord of the Hauntwoods enters or attacks, create a tapped colorless land token named Everywhere. That is every basic land type. So basically you can suspend these cards.
It's suspend, but you still get its effect on the battlefield.
Yes.
Which is very cool.
Yeah, this is a nice little reworking of suspend.
Yes. And while it's not its own keyword, we see the opposite. We have seen now a couple of creatures that when they die come back as enchantments.
Yes, we have.
That are not creatures.
This is a new kind of cool Duskmourn specific thing.
Also, I read through all this stuff on Eerie. It's not going to be mill. It's like, it'll be
whatever
yeah.
for the card. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So tell me about one of these enchantment creatures. What about the kitty cat?
Oh, the kitty cat, Enduring Curiosity.
I love this card.
Yes, it's so this art is like so good. It's so cute.
It's a fluffy kitty, leapy.
Oh, and we're just talking about the base art by Julie Dillon.
Two tails.
There's also some alternate art that is also very, very good.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Anyways, Enduring Curiosity is 2 blue for a 4/3 flash. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. When Enduring Curiosity dies, if it was a creature, return it to the battlefield under its owner's control. It's an enchantment. Parentheses, it's not a creature.
I love this.
Yeah.
It's reverse bestow.
So you don't have...
Not really,
It's like bestow, but it doesn't fall off. Like, it's not bestow because you're not attaching it.
Right.
But it is that it's coming back.
Reminiscent. Yeah.
Yes.
It come back. And I love Curiosity just as a card. And this is a nod to Curiosity with Enduring Curiosity and the kitty cat. This cat is a glimmer. And the glimmers in the set, there's a few of them. There is a lamb glimmer, I believe we've seen art of and stuff.
Yes, very cute.
Enduring Innocence.
Yes, this is 1 white for a 2/1 lifelink. Sheep Glimmer.
Sheep Glimmer.
Very cute. Whenever one or more other creatures you control with power 2 or less enter, draw a card. This ability triggers only once each turn, and then when it dies, if it was a creature, return it to the battlefield under its owner's control. It's an enchantment.
So you still get the enchantment benefit of these little friends, and they're glimmers because this is the only hope that's in Duskmourn.
Yes.
Is only these things, otherwise no
these
hope.
Little glimmers.
What a cute little sheep.
Glimmers of hope.
Glimmers of hope.
Maria, there's just like some incredible art in this set already.
Yes, there is. What are you looking at?
I'm looking at Demonic Council right now with art by Babs Webb. This is just like, have you seen? So this is a 1 and a black sorcery.
Oh, yeah.
Search your library for a demon card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. Delirium.
Yeah,
which Delirium is here, which
is
makes
also here, yeah.
a lot of sense to me. If there are 4 or more card types among cards in your graveyard, instead search your library for any card, put it into your hand, then shuffle. But this art is like, it's like a woman in like an old, right? It's like a classic, like older horror style dress.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And there's just like, she's surrounded by like this like set of like moth wings with eyes on them. And then arms are coming out from the moth
but
wing
Megan,
eyes.
there's eyes where there shouldn't be eyes.
I know, but this art is so good. And these eyes are disturbing to me. These are creepy.
Yeah.
But I think because they're not person, it's not as bad as it could be.
Sure.
But I just think that this art is like stunning. It's really good.
Have you seen the art for Disturbing Mirth?
Yes. Also horrifying.
On the other side of the spectrum, this is an enchantment for black-red. When it enters, you may sacrifice another enchantment or creature. If you do, draw 2 cards. When you sacrifice Disturbing Mirth, manifest dread. Pretty sick card. The art is somebody's skull. It's been opened. You can see their brain, and there's teeth around the inside of the skull.
No.
Or something like that. Those are teeth, right? So like their head is a mouth and it eats and then it goes straight into their brain. Is that what's happening?
I don't know. That's horrible. Whatever
What's
it is.
the lore here?
Bad time.
This art is incredible as well by Nino Vecchia, and it is it is disturbing to the max. A+.
I also want to, we're just talking about so much art because this art is so good. This is one of the alternate arts for Hauntwood's Shrieker.
Yes.
This is 1 green for a 3/3. Whenever it attacks, manifest dread. 1 and a green, reveal target face down permanent. If it's a creature card, you may turn it face up. So very powerful.
Yes, this
alternate art by Siddharth Chaturvedi is so, it's like a person being attacked and they're trying to defend themselves with a knife. And then in the reflection of the knife, you see the Hauntwood Shrieker.
Yes, I love it.
It's just so good.
So this art style, there's a bunch of art styles in this set. This one is specifically special one. It's called Mirror Monster cards. So these are borderless, where you get to see the monster in the mirror, I assume.
Yeah.
In this case, it's in the knife, which is...
It's so good. I love it so much.
We're getting to the point, like, put all these arts in an art show. Like,
Truly.
mean, they're excellent. The glimmers we mentioned...
There was a magic art show at one of the
yes,
MC...
there was!
One of the GP Vegas back in the day.
I want another one.
Yeah.
The glimmers, you can see there's a new foil treatment.
Ooh, they're so good.
That is coming out. It's called the Fracture foil treatment.
This also goes on the ones with impending. Like all of the enchantment and I think it's going to go on all of the enchantment creature ones.
Oh my God. I am obsessed with it. It's like a sparkly silver border that goes through the card. Shut up. We're Pokemon now. I love it. I don't care.
We Pokemon now and we're not minding it.
I'm here for it. I love all of these really cool extra treatments. That's my personal fave, gotta say.
Yeah. We're horror buffs.
Yes.
We love it. I feel like we could talk about this for forever. I just love so many of these arts. Patched Plaything is like an absolute nightmare. This is a 2 and a white for a 4/3 artifact creature toy. Double strike. Patched Plaything enters with 2 -1/-1 counters on it if you cast it from your hand. But the art is like a teddy bear that's also had like a doll head face sewn into its stomach. And it has like a terrifying mouth of like real pointy teeth and claws. It's so good. It's so spooky.
Kaido is here, and we have he's our planeswalker of the set. We get 1 planeswalker per set. Remember that. Kaito, Bane of Nightmares, which is 2 blue-black for a 4 loyalty planeswalker at Mythic. And this is our first planeswalker with ninjutsu.
Yes, ninjutsu, 1 blue-black. During your turn, as long as Kaito has 1 or more loyalty counters on him, he's a 3/4 ninja creature and has hexproof.
Nice.
Pretty nice. +1, you get an emblem with ninjas you control get +1/+1. 0, surveil 2, then draw a card for each opponent who lost life this turn. Or -2, tap target creature, put 2 stun counters on it.
Awesome. This card's great.
I love seeing a planeswalker with ninjutsu.
I love seeing a planeswalker with hexproof. There's something for everyone here. In Kaito's
only
card.
on your turn.
Yeah, super cool. And there's different art styles of Kaito. One of them being a new double exposure style, which looks like you took 2 shots on the same piece of celluloid on a roll of film, which is kind of neat.
Yes,
and you can find that in other cards in the set as well.
Flavor fanatics.
Yeah, yeah.
This is also what they call fans of Doritos.
I'm a big time flavor fanatic.
Anyways, we'll notice that Norn is back.
Norn!
Of course, originally known as Norin the Wary. Here we have Norin, Swift Survivalist. Norin, an iconic human coward.
Oh, yeah. Big time coward. Thanks, Norn.
Single red, 2/1. Norin, for a human coward. Norin, Swift Survivalist, can't block.
Because, they're a coward.
Exactly. Whenever a creature you control becomes blocked, you may exile it. You may play that card from exile this turn.
Great. I love it. I love seeing a coward come back, can't block warriors, as they say.
And by they, you mean the text of cards.
Yes. They made a real point when they were designing the set to put cards in here that are reminiscent of people's actual nightmares. And one that they previewed is Fear of Lost Teeth. Single black.
You've literally had this nightmare recently.
Exactly. I saw this. I was shook. It's an enchantment creature nightmare. It's a 1/1. When it dies, it deals 1 damage to any target. And you gain 1 life. I had this nightmare the other day that all my teeth were falling out, and it was specifically happening during the World Championship in Vegas, which is coming up in October. And I was just so distraught. I was in some kind of hotel, and I was trying to find a dentist, and I was going up and down this elevator, but I never got out at the right floor. But it was a hotel that I've stayed in other dreams before. Does that happen to you?
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't that weird?
It is very weird.
Anyway, so I had this horrible nightmare dream, and I woke up, and they showed off the set and this card, and I was like, excuse me. Apparently it's a common dream to have your teeth fall out. Oh, why do you think that is?
I think, right, people say it's got to be, it's like a metaphor. It's an interconnected metaphor across many people.
Oh, wow.
It's cool.
And it's also something we've all experienced. So we know, like, when we're little, our teeth fall out. So, like, we know what it's like to have that happen to you, which I guess is more horrifying in my subconscious than I remember.
Yeah. Last week, I had a dream where it was overrun by demon zombies. Everything was.
Gosh, I've never had a zombie dream.
This was disturbing, right? Because people were like running around, like they were trying to bite you. They were trying to zombie you. And also they were demons. I don't know. It was a dream. Not a lot of dream logic. But anyways, then I got in a fight with the demon zombie king and he threw me from a 3rd floor window.
Wow. Did you wake up like jumping, kind of in your bed?
No, I just remember falling and being like, I wonder if someone's going to catch me or not.
That's spooked.
It was very spooky. That part specifically. The rest of it was also scary.
Alice in
It
Wonderland.
was very stressful. It was a very stressful dream. I woke up and I was like, wow, great. I was stressed through my sleep
night,
also.
I was fabulous.
Yes.
Now we got to start more stress in the day. This card just got previewed that I would hate. Welcome to my hatred of Split Up.
Oh,
1 white sorcery. Choose 1, destroy all tapped creatures, destroy all untapped creatures. One-sided board wipe. Get out. I hate this card.
Love it.
It's only 3 mana. Boo! Boo! And I will say too that this is in a very cool frame. This is the what are they calling this? The paranormal frame or something like that?
I don't remember.
The TV frame. You know the one I'm talking about, everybody. Yeah. It looks like a TV. Paranormal frame. Got it on the first try. High five myself. It looks awesome. It looks like an old, CRT TV that's glitching out. one of my fears, but I still think it looks very, very cool.
Maria, what about the Jolly Balloon Man?
This guy can get out.
Really horrifying. Really disturbing.
What are these balloons made of, sir?
A human head.
Oh, okay.
They're made of human heads. Okay.
Not into it.
1 red, white for a 1/4 haste. Human clown. 1 tap. Create a token that's a copy of another target creature you control, except it's a 1/1 red balloon creature in addition to its other colors and types, and it has flying and haste. Sacrifice it at the beginning of the next end step. Activate only as a sorcery.
I was looking up how many other clowns there were in Magic. There are a fair number of clowns, 11 cards.
I think, but a lot of them are from
These are all unsets.
Unset.
Everything else is an unset. This is the first non-unset clown.
Because it was the last unset. It was Unfinity.
Yeah.
That had clowns.
Otherwise, there'd be no other clowns.
Wow. He's the only clown.
A red balloon creature. So this is a nod, of course, to It, which is very cool.
Spooky.
To see. Yeah, that art also is in cred by Campbell White.
Yeah.
The head's being blown up.
This card, I love this card. This card is just very cool. Zamone, All Questioning.
Oh, this card's great.
1 green blue for a 1/1. Human wizard. At the beginning of your end step, if a land entered the battlefield under your control this turn, and you control a prime number of lands, create Primo, the Indivisible, a legendary 0/0 green and blue fractal creature token, then put that many +1/+1 counters on it. And then it has all the prime numbers up to 31.
Yes.
Which I love that they were just like, where can we stop? I don't know, just stop 31. At 31.
You can have more than 31 lands. I don't know who you are.
Yes.
But don't worry, everybody. There's more primes. There are, in fact, infinite primes.
But there are fewer infinite primes than there are infinite regular numbers.
Wow. Isn't that cool? There's different scales of infinity.
It's amazing.
Were you aware? Yes.
It's one of my favorite facts.
It's a great math fact. Zamone is representing the nerd, by the way, in the tropes of a horror movie.
Zamone, here representing the nerd.
The nerd. Representing the jock, or, the meathead.
Yes.
We have our favorite meathead, Tyvar.
Oh, look. Great meathead.
Love Tyvar.
Really wonderful. Just, a golden retriever of a meathead.
Sometimes you just need a big dummy to be around. Yes. Having a good time with you.
1 green for a 3/3 legendary creature, Elf Warrior. Tap another untapped creature you control. Tyvar the Pummeler gains indestructible until end of turn. Tap it. Of course.
Oh, yep. Got to get indestructible.
3 green. Creatures you control get +X until end of turn, where X is the greatest power among creatures you control. It's a powerful ability.
Yeah, absolutely. For just 3 mana.
Yeah.
The other person we're the kind of archetype we're meeting in this house is Winter, Misanthropic Guide.
Who is fulfilling the archetype of misanthrope.
They described Winter as the burnout. The stoner, if you will. 1 black, red, green for a 3/4 human warlock. I'm a big fan of Winter. I'm just going to say it.
If there were stoner colors in Magic, it would be Jund.
You're so right.
I know. They know.
Jund smokes it up.
Everyone knows.
Everybody knows.
Everyone knows.
Let's get real, Jund.
Right.
We see you. Winter, A+, 3/4. Yes. Human Warlock, Ward 2. At the beginning of your upkeep, each player draws 2 cards. Oh. Interesting. Delirium. As long as there are 4 or more card types among cards in your graveyard, each opponent's maximum hand size is equal to 7 minus the number of those card types.
Oh, so they can draw a bunch of cards, but then you don't get to hold on to them.
Yeah.
You have to discard them all.
I like this character.
This is great. I'm into this.
I hope we see more of Winter in the future.
Yeah.
Not like in real life, but, in Magic.
Yeah.
Good gravy.
Very, very cool.
There's other fears that they are starting to preview, like Fear of Failed Tests, which is a very funny name for a card. 4 and a blue. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, draw that many cards. It's a 2/7 for 5 mana.
Sure, why not?
Weird stats on that card.
Fear of Isolation. This art, what is happening? I don't know. It's bad. It's a bad time. This is 1 in a blue.
Bird has smoke coming out of its eyes.
1 in a blue, flying. As an additional cost to cast the spell, return a permanent you control to its owner's hand. Yeah, whatever. It's like it's a giant bird, but if you look inside its mouth, there's a face screaming.
Oh!
And then it has like 3 very pale hands, but then also like
some
7 other red spooky hands. This one is very Arena Nordsoul is the artist. Very spooky.
Wow.
Yeah, very cool.
Did you see this art over here? Razorkin Needlehead.
Yes.
I love its pinhead reference. Red for a 2/2 rare human assassin. It has first strike during your turn. Whenever an opponent draws a card, it deals a damage to them. Watch out, Megan.
All right.
I'm playing Razorkin. Are you going to draw those cards?
Yes.
Yeah, the answer is still yes.
The answer is
always draw the cards.
yes.
We got a new ley line in this set.
Oh, Leyline of Hope.
Fans of ley lines, listen up. 2 white enchantment. And of course, it has the ley line ability that if it's in your opening hand, you just start the game with it on the battlefield, which is pretty sweet. If you would gain life, you gain that much life plus 1 instead.
Oh, okay.
As long as you've at least 7 life more than your starting life total, creatures you can control get +2/+2. I think this is a good card.
This is a good card. I like this card.
Yeah, this would be cool. Definitely Commander players are looking at this.
All those Soul Sisters players are interested.
Yep, I'm interested. I'm thinking about it. Interesting. Yep.
Okay.
So that's kind of cool. Previews. We've got a preview card coming out this weekend, everybody.
Ooh.
Stay tuned on Saturday, the 7th. That's when we're going to be posting it.
Oh my goodness.
Maybe it's even more than one. Just going to throw that out there.
Ooh.
Fear of immobility. Do you have this fear?
No, I don't think so. I mean, if I think about it, I don't like it, but it's not like it's one that preys upon me when I'm not thinking about it.
Have you ever had sleep paralysis?
No.
Oof. I've had it one time in my life.
Hard pass. No,
Do not recommend.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
It's also
a bad time.
It's also kind of strange. Here, I'll read the card first. 4 and a white. Enchantment creature Nightmare. 4/4. When it enters, tap up to 1 target creature. If an opponent controls that creature, put a stun counter on it.
Oh, so you could make your own survive. Like you could make someone survive with the fear of immobility.
You could.
Wow. Have you ever considered that maybe your fear of immobility is just helping you survive?
I mean, flight or fright. Wait, what is it?
Fight or flight? Fight or fright?
Yeah.
Fright or flight?
Fright or flight.
Either I get scared or I run away. It's one or the other, though.
It's there for a reason. Yes, I had the weird part of it is when it happens to you, this was a point in my life I was extremely stressed out. Had this dream, I was staying in a weird place. It was not my house. And you think you're awake, okay? Mm-hmm. You can't move and you see a demon. Like, why is that what happens to everybody? Isn't that weird? Why would everybody have that same experience of seeing that demon and not being able to move?
Because human brains are all the same.
Because that demon's real, Megan. That's what it is.
It's not that human brains all have commonalities.
No, it's the Hat Man. He come and he wanted to just look at you, I guess, for a little while.
Okay, that's fine.
He didn't say anything to me. Just kind of stood there at the foot of the bed.
Oh.
Yeah. It was definitely one of the spookiest moments of my life. No questions.
Wow,
asked.
Interesting.
Yeah.
There is, of course, FOMO.
Is that a card?
Yes.
Is this called FOMO?
It's called Fear of Missing Out.
Oh my gosh, that's great.
It's 1 and a red for a 2/3. When it enters, discard a card, then draw a card. Delirium, whenever it attacks for the first time each turn, if there are 4 or more card types among cards in your graveyard, untap target creature. After this phase, there's an additional combat phase.
I love it.
You don't want to miss out on that combat.
No, I don't. And I'm so scared of missing out on combat every day. Yeah. I never want to miss it. That's a great fear. And I do have that fear. I will 100% cop to that. The Wandering Rescuer is our other archetype that is in this set. And she is representing the final girl, meaning the girl who makes it to the end of the horror film of the slasher. We've seen her card. We've known about this card for a long time, but just in case you need a refresher, 3 white for a 3/4 flash. Human Samurai Noble with Convoke. Double strike and other tapped creatures you control have hexproof.
Then who is Nico?
Nico is like the leader. I can't remember what they said about Nico.
Interesting.
Yeah, because Nico's there too, throwing shards.
Yes. All right.
I don't remember what archetype they said Nico was. If you watch their panel at PAX West, they probably say.
Okay.
Because I did watch it, but I just forgot that part. Basically, this set looks incredible. Despite the fact that Twitching Doll is somehow still a card in the set, despite what I said about it on the internet.
It is still there.
Which was absolutely not in all caps. Yeah. I guess they're still printing it. I don't know why they would do that to me personally. I feel attacked. But here we are. Pre-release happening the weekend of the 21st. Release of the set September 27th. There's going to be an early access streamer event as well that's going to be happening on the 18th. So check that out with your favorite streamers. The pre-release, of course, don't want to miss that.
Yeah.
But most of all, you can't miss our Judge Robep.
Ooh, it'll be coming at you.
Coming at you the week before the pre-release, which just so happens to be in 2 weeks. So not next week, but the week after.
What?
Yeah. I know.
Okay.
It feels like we just got to Bloomborough. But anyway,
Yes.
I digress. It's time for story time. Story time with Megan, Duskmourn Chapter 2.
All right, Maria, last time we talked, we had all of our buddies getting together in the house. They walked through the door into the spooky house. We, of course, have Zimone, we have the Wanderer, we have Kato, we have Nico, and we have Tyvar.
Yep.
They walk through the door disappears.
Classic
It
weird
is
door.
Gone. They look around, right? It's just very spooky.
I wish I was there. I can't get over it.
Wallpaper that's papered with like moths with eyes on their wings everywhere. And there's like a bunch of stuff that's been like smashed or pictures that have been removed. They find a picture of, remember that family from the first chapter that was like moving in? It was like the parents and then the teenage daughter. And like the parents' faces have been scratched out.
Oh.
The daughter is still there.
All right.
Spooky. I want to know what role, this daughter
Yes,
plays.
absolutely.
I don't know. Is she demon?
Maybe by this point. She's part of the house now.
Anyways, so they're all like, at first they're like, we cannot, like, don't split up, obviously. They're like, all of us, we're going to explore this house together.
I don't know. There's a card called Split the Party or whatever the heck it's called.
And Zimone is like looking, she's like looking at the last transmission from Nashi's drones.
Split Up. I talked about it 5 minutes ago. Sorry.
There's like footage from the drones, and she's like, this hallway looks different from the hallway that Nashi walked into through that same door.
Wow.
Or from like the same area. So like, this isn't the same room. What's happening?
Oh, okay.
And Nico is like, okay, look, I've been through a labyrinth on Theros, #Greek. And so like the way that we're going to do it is like, we're going to just take like the first door on the right.
Yep.
And then we'll go through that room. And then like always we'll just keep taking rights until eventually if we get back to the same place.
Yeah.
Then we'll do something different. So, right, they're like, okay. They all go through. Oh, they also notice Kato is like, from my like ninja training, he's like, I'm going to like close my eyes and kind of get a sense for like the air movement in this room to feel like if someone else has been here recently.
Oh.
And so Kato closes his eyes and he's like, I feel like there's like literally someone here, right? Like you can feel like the air in the room has been disturbed or whatever. And he's like, this place is bad vibes. It feels like someone is here or has been here recently. Not a nice time.
Yeah. I didn't know that he had that ability. That's kind of cute.
Yeah. Zimone is like, yes, science can explain this.
Oh, great. Zimone.
It's very funny. Yes.
Never change.
Zimone is like, science, et cetera, et cetera. Anyways, they're like, okay. Also, they noticed that like as soon as the door disappeared because they stopped looking at it. Right? And so
if
it's
they
like,
look, it come back?
No, it's just that like the house can only change when it's not being perceived. Like if it's not being looked at. So they're like, that's what they think. They're like, okay, we all have to keep eyes on each other.
This is like an Angel's Doctor Who situation.
Yes.
Okay.
Right. It's easier for it to attack if someone's not looking at it.
Oh,
yes.
Don't go to sleep.
So anyways, so they start walking, they like take a right. They go through spooky rooms, right? They go through like an indoor swimming pool room that has like, it's like half filled with like disgusting water. No. I'm just going to say like,
yes.
Just no. Then they go into a room, which is like, it looks like a room full of corn.
A corn room.
Yes. It's like a room full of like corn stalks and
don't threaten me with a good time
and rotting corn. The corn's rotting. Sorry.
Rotting.
And they're like, oh my goodness, we're outside. And Zimone's like, no, we're inside still. Like this is all the house.
This is what we were talking about.
The house. This is like a field of corn. Also, I love this horror trope of like spooky field of corn.
Yeah, we've got the children of the corn somewhere in this.
You gotta be careful of spooky rooms of corn stalks,
yeah,
you know?
Absolutely.
Anyways, they're like, this is a bad time. And also they're indoors, so there's no breeze and the corn is all just like gently rustling. They're like, no. Bad times.
The children just want to play with you in the court.
Yes. And the Wanderer's like, we're turning around.
They're all blonde.
Turn it around.
Blue eyes.
And everyone's like, And Nico's like, and the Wanderer's like, nope, turn it around. And Tyvar's like, yeah, let's go.
Love it.
Anyways, so they go like back through the swimming pool room. They go back through like a weird pantry full of disgusting stuff. But instead of like getting into another room, they eventually find themselves in this like big ballroom. And they're like, we haven't been here before.
Yeah.
Right? Like we should have gone back exactly where we were going.
The house is changing.
But the house changed.
The house be changing.
So they ended up somewhere else. And Kato is like, I could try, like, look, we're in this ballroom, like up there I see like skylight windows. Let me try and get up there and like get out on the roof of this house. And Zimon's like, no, I've been doing all these mathematical measurements and like different angles in this house look different depending on how you view them. And she's like, if you try and get on the roof, like you're just going to end up somewhere else.
Yeah.
Like there's no such thing as like exactly. There's no
can't get out.
Clear forward path. There's no like physical concrete map that doesn't change.
Oh wow.
Also, she talks about some weird, like cool weird stuff that it's like her theories behind why Omen Path's opening caused planeswalkers to dispark. Where she was like, oh, the multiverse is like conscious and like wants to be observed. And so
this is the whole thing we talk about on this show.
Exactly. So the multiverse is conscious and like wants to be observed. And so it had like planeswalkers because that way, like, right, there's people who can travel between the different planes and observe the multiverse. But now that there's Omen Paths, it doesn't need planeswalkers to be observed.
It's the double slit experiment, everybody.
Anyways, it's very cool. It's nice. Fun science.
Yes.
Okay. So the Wanderer is like, oh yeah, also I obviously can't planeswalk anymore, but I still have like my planar sense that came from like her spark originally being unmoored and her just being pulled around.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
She's like, I can still like get a sense of like what a space is like. And this space is bad. She was like, she's like,
yeah, we're there. We understand that.
The
okay,
only thing
we were in the rustling corn.
Exactly. She's like, there's nothing here except this house, right? Like this plane. There isn't a plane that we're on. The plane is the house.
The house is the plane.
The house is the plane, which we already knew, but this is, like this is the Wanderer discovering it for this group. Anyways, there's like. Then a scream happens, right? Someone's screaming, and Tyvar, being a golden retriever jock, just like sprints. Is like, someone needs help, and like sprints. And Zimone is like the first person who's like,
great,
snaps and is like tries to run after him and grab him, but he like runs through a door, and she runs through after him. And then obviously the door disappears, and it's just Zimone and Tyvar now.
Okay.
The house split them up.
Oh, they did split up despite their best efforts.
Exactly. So it's Zimone and Tyvar. And then back in the ballroom, Kato is like, Nico, you never miss. And Nico's like, I don't ever miss. And they had tried to like throw a shard to stop Zimone from running.
See.
But the Wanderer was like, no, that doorway literally just moved when you threw that shard at it.
Wow.
Like it saw what you were trying to do.
Wow.
And it just like moved slightly. So it wasn't that you missed. It's like literally the house. Yes, learned. Anyways, they're like, oh no, they look through the doorway, like the doorway is still there for them, but they can't see Zimone and Tyvar on the other side of it anymore. Obviously, they're just like gone. And then a hole in the floor opens up and swallows Kato.
Oh,
it's a hole in the floor full of teeth. It opens up into a pit full of teeth. He falls down a hole full of teeth.
I don't know why more people's fear isn't a pit full of teeth.
I mean, so anyways, Kato just starts falling down a hole full of teeth. The Wanderer tries to catch him, cannot. Kato falls. We don't know what happens.
Oh,
to
no. Kato.
Right, but it's just like him and his cute little raccoon planeswalker.
Oh, at least that what's
Himoto.
that raccoon's name? Himoto's still with him.
Yes, exactly. Very, very cute. He like does it initially. He like catches himself with his sword like in the floor.
Yeah.
And then the hole just gets wider. And
cool. That's a cool move.
So Kato is now, right, the house has split them up. There's Zimone and Tyvar. There's Kato, who has now fallen down a hole full of teeth.
Yeah.
And there's the Wanderer and Nico. And they're just like, this is a bad time. And Nico and the Wanderer are like, all right, I guess our job is to go try and find everybody again and like get them together.
Do you think Zimone and Tyvar are going to fall in love?
I really hope so, honestly.
That's my fingers crossed.
I kind of get the vibe that maybe they could.
Okay.
And I would be personally very into it. I think it would be very cute. So anyways, they end up in a they end up in a library, of course. And Simone.
Do the books have teeth? I feel like the books have teeth.
So like for right now, no, but we don't know.
Those books are gonna have
right.
teeth.
Anyways,
mark my words.
Let's see. What was I saying? Oh, that's right. They're hanging out and Tyvar is like looking at the wall that like formed where the doorway used to be, and he's like to Simone, he's like, "Do you think that wall's load bearing?" And she's like, "I don't think so. Why?" And then he obviously just starts punching the wall,
nice,
to get them through. And Simone's like, "Oh, violence. Okay."
Sometimes it is the answer.
She's like, "All right." And so she starts looking at all of these books, and she's like, "Wow, books."
Great.
You know, a nerd's gonna nerd. Tyvar is like, "I did it. I punched a hole through the wall and there's a stairway on the other side." And Simone is like, "Look, I need to look at these books."
Oh, wow.
And so he was like, Tyvar is like, "Look, I see Simone is very into these books." He's like, "Look, I'm going to go into this stairwell." And she makes this like cool fractal like tether between the two of them. So like she holds onto one end and he holds onto the other end. And he's like, "All right, I'm going to go down these stairs." And they both hold onto each end. And she's like, "I'm going to stay here. Look at these books." And so he like goes up and down the stairs, and then he just ends up back in the library, right? He doesn't go up and down. He just goes up the stairs, and then eventually he's back in the library, and he sees Simone again. And there's still like the tether that took them the distance, but they both just like go over because they're like, "Here you are."
Yep.
Anyways, there you go. They're back in the library. So Tyvar, Simone, hanging out in the library. Okay. Nico and the Wanderer go to the next spooky place.
Okay.
The Wanderer is having some trauma about killing Tamio. Nico is like, "You didn't kill her, Phyrexia did." And she was like, "Well, I don't know. I should have like waited. Other people de-Phyrexianized." And Nico is like, "Yeah, but she also might have destroyed Kamigawa before that happened. So like you did what you had to." Anyways, they have a nice little chat about guilt.
Great. We're getting through it.
Okay, they end up in a meat locker. It's a bad time. They end up in a spooky meat locker.
That was not going to be my guess.
It's, there's like iron chains. There's like giant cuts of meat
swinging around.
They're just swinging around. It is disgusting.
Great.
It's spooky.
Great.
Obviously, they start moving between them, and they're like, "This is a bad time." They then are like, they see like at the far end of the room, like the chains are swinging back into place.
No.
Because something just moved them.
No.
And they're like watching it, getting ready. But then someone grabs them from behind.
Oh.
And they meet Winter.
Oh, it's Winter saving the day.
Yes. I don't know if I think they say their name at some. Oh yeah, they say their name. Winter. And they're like in this spooky thing, and there's like they have a slingshot, and in the slingshot is like blood matted hair.
Yuck!
Yes, exactly.
They're gonna say some magical thing about blood matted hair.
Yes. And what they're looking at they're like, "Hey, I'm saving your dumb butts," because over there, that spooky thing that you were looking at is like a giant monster, right? It's like a giant thing with like a mask on its face and like hair and like a big canvas apron. With like stains, and they have a huge like cleaver. And anyways, so the stranger pings this like slingshot thing, and it like hits one of the chains.
Yeah.
And then, so it makes like the other thing go running towards it. It makes like the spooky monster go running towards it, and then they run away. Anyways, that
you're gonna say he get hit with matted blood hair, and that was their weakness.
No, it was just that made the chain rattle, and it went the other way. Anyways, the Winter is like, okay. They're like, "Winter, and how long have you lived in the house, Winter?" Nico asks them. "Most of my life. There isn't anything else. The house is the world, and the world is the house. And once it has hold of you, there's nowhere else to go." Ooh. You'll see that soon if you don't already. You belong to Duskmourn now.
Oh, great.
There you go. What's happening these days.
Holy cow. Very cool.
Yeah, spooky.
I love it.
Like I said, just full of spooky rooms.
I love the fact that the plane is just the house. I think
the
that
plane
is
is the
a
house.
very
The house
cool
is the
idea
plane.
for a plane.
Yes, agreed.
If you know, I had this whole deal where I was like, Mark, can we do a set that's set in the Blind Eternities?
And Mark was like, no, you're
He's
nuts.
like, no, that doesn't make any sense.
He's like, the Blind Eternities is the absence of stuff.
Correct. He's like, that would be setting a set in a doorway. And anyway, I feel like this is as close as I'm going to get to that kind of a situation happening.
Yeah.
Where we get like a bubble universe or whatever, right? That exists, and we can do really fun and creative things inside that universe that we can't
seems very cool.
do if we have to think about a whole plane, right?
Yeah.
So like, I can't wait for the set where the universe is inside a hot car.
Weird choice, but okay.
That's just where it is. It's inside a small jar, and we're all fireflies. The new set is inside a toilet tank, and we're a goldfish.
You know what? What a metaphor for life. What are we except fireflies inside the glass jar of the universe?
I mean, we might be inside a black hole. You ever think about that?
I think we'd know.
Well, we wouldn't. I mean, unless we can do
but
some
I'm just
more
saying, like,
experiments.
you can't be inside a black hole. You'd be experiencing the event horizon for forever.
Incorrect. If you were inside a black hole and it was big enough, you would not know. It would seem the same.
Then why does it matter?
I don't know. Why does it matter? Other
Guess
than
what?
science.
I'm here to say, black holes, do they even matter?
This is an episode of Unexplainable podcast. If you want to learn more about it, it's kind of interesting. And the guy's like, yeah, we could test this theory. We just need to make a large hadron collider that shoots around the moon, that's big enough to go around the moon and come back. And then we can make our own miniature tiny black hole and use that to study if we are indeed in a black hole.
No. I'm just going to go ahead and say we shouldn't do that.
No making black holes, science.
Guess what? Well, they already do that, right? The Large Hadron Collider already does make them. But do you know what happens to them? They evaporate.
Yeah.
Isn't that cool?
They're just gone like that, yeah.
Thank goodness. And you know what? If it ever messes up, you're not going to know it. You're just going to be done.
Correct. I mean, this set, it just is very physics in a way. You know, like we talked
It
about
is
the
very
double slit
physics.
experiment already. We're talking about galaxies
yes.
and black holes evaporating and us potentially being in a black hole.
Yes.
And is every new little, whatever. It's
Hold
interesting.
on. I'm going to show you a meme that I had that I sent to someone the other day.
Oh, okay, great. Meme alert.
Meme alert. Oh no, here it is.
So this is the hot girlfriend meme.
Yeah, jealous
girlfriend meme.
Yes.
The guy says observer. Okay. The hot girl is observed quantum state.
And then there's like infinite copies of the jealous girlfriend, and it says every other possible quantum state.
Yep, there we go.
Anyways, it's a very dumb nerdy.
Who knew we would get to this with Duskmourn, quite honestly?
All right, look, I'll drop that in the Discord.
Yeah.
Another reason to become a patron, you can see the
Great meme.
You're gonna see the meme.
Yeah. Thanks for hanging out with us this episode of Good Luck High Five, episode 606. Duskmourn looks extremely, extremely cool. I cannot wait to see every card that's in this set.
Yes.
Remember to
check
out our episode of Commander Arcade.
That is great.
Excellent. It's going to be on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/@GLHF Commander this Friday, early on Thursday for patrons. So if you're a patron, guess what? It's already up and you can already watch it, and it's excellent.
Thank you again to Amari and Leon and Ira.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, new patrons.
If you want to become a patron before our next episode, we would so dearly appreciate it. Patreon.com/GLHF Magic. Thank you to our sponsors, Card Kingdom. Check them out at cardkingdom.com/GLHF. And go check out Dragon Shield. Get your Dragon Shields for all of your pre-release needs. Use the link in our show notes or under the video to go and check that out. Use code GLHF for 5% off at checkout. Well, Megan, are you sufficiently scared heading into the rest of your day now?
Yeah.
I'm just hoping I don't get swallowed up by a hole with teeth. Though some people, that might be their thing. One person's greatest fear, you know?
Another person's biggest dream.